talk about. We are going to be talking about Bowman Lusambo because this afternoon, Honorable Bowman Lusambo was arrested and then he was later on released on bail. Besides Bowman Lusambo, we are also going to be talking about Simon Mwewa versus Tasila Lungu because there is some ongoing or rather ongoing court cases, and it's obviously going to get juicy a little bit later because obviously Pandora's box is going to be open because allegedly Simon Mwewa, aka Mr. Chitambala Mwewa, has got a lot of evidence with regards to his earlier allegations, towards the whole PF fraternity, and apparently Tasila Lungu is also implicated. So we are going to be finding out more details with regards to that particular situation. The other thing that we're going to be talking about is whether PF is going to manage to survive in the next coming 3 years, because right now it really seems the Patriotic Front is having a lot of trouble due to the fact that we have heard, Honorable Given Lubinda talk about the fact that a lot of PF members are in hiding. So we are going to be talking about the longevity of the Patriotic Front. Besides that, we are also going to be talking about the new ZRA Commissioner General because apparently your wishes have been granted and Dr. Kingsley Chanda's contract has been terminated. So these are the things that we are going to be looking at. So before we jump into today's episode, I really want you to share this broadcast because I want this broadcast to reach as many people as possible. So share it to all the respective groups that you belong to. Right now, share it on your timeline, and then later on you can share it to like 5 different Zambian groups that you belong to because we need the people of Zambia to sort of get to understand what has been happening in Zambia. So without further ado, let's jump into today's presentation. I go by the name of Muna, aka Beyond 10x. So yeah, I'm going to be your host today. So let's just jump into this without further ado. So let's start with the Patriotic Front, right? Because this is an important topic that I want to talk about. Okay, so let me just play this audio clip. Can you let me know in the comment section below whether you can hear the audio? Because I hope I'm playing it together with the audio, because sometimes I do have problems playing video and audio. So please let me know in the comment section below. So this incident happened this afternoon, where we had, an alleged PF member who reportedly, allegedly killed somebody a while back. So at this particular moment, right, you really see how Zambians are with regards to how they are. Perceiving PF members at this particular moment, because that particular situation happened at the Lusaka Magistrate Court. So some very good organization, where there is like a lot of law enforcers, and there's a lot of police, but the people were just relentless, because the anger that Zambians were harboring, or rather, keeping towards, the patriotic front, and all the, misfortunate things that they did during their rule, right? A lot of Zambians were keeping this like deep down inside of their hearts. And this time around, right, Zambians need to see justice happen, and they need to see justice take place. And this is one of the reasons why, even though the cops were trying to be very professional, because and I really want to give a round of applause to that particular police officer who was risking his life, just trying to make sure that the law takes its course, and prevents that person from being, destroyed by the unruly mob that was beginning to like sort of, pile up. So at this particular moment, right, you feel the anger of a lot of Zambians, because during the Patriotic Front tenure, right, we saw a lot of different bad things happen. We saw a lot of different people get retired on national interest, or rather, a lot of people were actually lost their jobs for being professional. So there has to be a time when the law has to take its course, and people have to pay for their sins. And of course, I'm not really emphasizing or promoting mob justice here. I'm just saying, look, the people really suffered a lot, and at this particular time, if anybody did anything that was against the law, obviously this particular situation needs to be corrected, and the law has to visit them. So at this particular moment, right, we saw that particular person being dragged to the to the police, because he allegedly killed somebody. So let me just play you the report from Spring TV. But sorry, the quality is not very good, because I only downloaded it in about 360 pixels. But at least you can get the gist, from this. So let me just play you another report with regards to everything that happens, so that you can have a clear perspective of that particular fracas. Um, Hold on. So let me just, let me do this. Mm, just hang on a sec. I'm trying to get it. Mm.
Shakafuswa, who was following the court proceedings of the petition, was one of Shakafuswa's key campaign team members.
So let me just play one more time, so that you can hear it properly, because I was like setting up everything. So here we
go. The case in which UPND Mandev losing candidate Aaron Mulope has petitioned the election of Christopher Shakafuswa as Mandev Member of Parliament is still on, and the witness on stand is allegedly one of the victims of political violence. However, business came to almost a standstill when the UPND cadres attempted to destroy Shakafuswa's BMW after they discovered that the person that was in the car waiting for Shakafuswa, who was following the court proceedings of the petition, was one of Shakafuswa's key campaign team members. The UPND cadre alleged that the man is the one that murdered one of Mlope's election campaign team member, and police struggled to rescue the man from the unruly and angered cadres.
This one is a criminal. Yes. The guy a UPND member when they were putting the billboard poster in Mandev. And Shakafusa is protecting you.
Vows Chifunda, S24 News in Lusaka.
So that is indeed a lovely report from Spring TV, and it just shows you how angered Zambians are with regards to how everything was being done during the Patriotic Front, tenure. So the only thing that we can get to ask ourselves is why was Zambia on the verge of being a very violent type of country? Because if, let's say for example, for whatever reasons, right, the Patriotic Front were able to secure their victorious election this particular year, right, we would have obviously experienced violence and lawlessness, which could have been 10 to 20 times more than what we experienced. So as you can see, right, the number of Zambians who couldn't withhold their anger, they just had to lash out and express their feelings, because that particular cadre allegedly killed and murdered, or rather murdered somebody, so even though they were at a vicinity where there was a lot of law enforcers, right, they just couldn't withhold their anger towards these particular people. And can you imagine how much anger Zambians would have been holding if the Patriotic Front was able to go through? So this is one of the reasons why at this particular moment, right, we need to have a situation where the Patriotic Front as a political party has a nationwide tour and offers their apologies and sympathy to the Zambians, because a lot of them, I understand, it was a way of surviving, because during the past 5-7 years, right, we saw a lot of different professionals become cadres, because it was a way of survival. In order for you to survive in the Patriotic Front era, right, you had to play by the book. You had to play along to the mafia's playbook. So this is one of the reasons why people began gravitating towards that particular way of life, if you know what I mean. So these are the things that we are supposed to be looking at. And now that we have had this particular experience at Zambia, right, obviously we're going to be looking back in the next coming, I don't know, 50 to 100 years, right? We're going to be able to look back, in history and say, okay, Muzambia, Marikoka situation, when we allow certain things to happen, this is going to be our trajectory. So I really believe at this particular moment, right, the number of registered voters that we have, we've got like a fairly young electorate type of demographic at this particular moment, because most of the active voters that we experienced in 2021 are probably between 18 to about 35, 45. So obviously the voters who participated in this year's elections, they are going to be around. I mean, we're going to be around for like a very long period of time, God willingly, because death is inevitable. But all I'm trying to say is this time around, right, we are going to be able to hold our leaders accountable, and we are going to be looking forward to making sure that the rule of law is enforced. This is a very important aspect, because just like I keep on saying, right, Zambia is a young country. We are a young country due to the fact that we only gained independence in 1964, right? If we compare ourselves to developed nations such as the US, a lot of European nations, Russia, and all that stuff, right? We don't really have like a lot of history to look back at and see what works and what doesn't work, if you know what I mean. So this is one of the reasons why I really applaud all the people that did what they had to do in order for us to move into a perfect trajectory in terms of being progressive as a nation, where democracy is concerned, the rule of law, and just basically being a progressive society. Now, a lot of you might be saying, "Hey, Muna, why do you think the UPND is going to be any better, and why do you think they're going to make a difference?" Well, we can see the type of leadership and we can see the way things are being set up. Let me give you a practical example right now. Let's talk about Bowman Lusambo, because I know a lot of you tuned in because you want to see Bowman Lusambo arrested. And I saw a lot of comments on social media, social media, where a lot of people were saying, thank God Honorable Bowman Lusambo is at least testing this other side of the law, where he can get slapped and get, caught by the police, and he can feel that, okay, I'm not really that invisible. And of course, I'm not really wishing bad luck on Honorable Bowman Lusambo and his family, because, I understand I'm a very empathetic person, and I do sort of exhibit sympathy. But, sometimes when we are having situations where people feel like they are demigods, and just because they belong to a certain fraternity or a certain political party, then that means they are above the law. This is one of the reasons why we had situations where Maxwell Chongo, right, he was a diehard PF fan. He knew that what he was doing was very wrong. He knew that putting on the SDA uniform was wrong. He was putting on an SDA uniform while drinking alcohol. Don't tell me he didn't know that that was wrong. But due to the fact that that was one of the qualifications in order for you to be considered by the Patriotic Front as a person who they can associate with, is by you insulting the opposition or being an extremely violent person. So this is one of the reasons why we had characters like, Innocent Kalimanshi being endorsed and being welcomed by the Patriotic Front, because he was exhibiting the characteristics that they were looking for. Because to them, they knew that in order for us to maintain society, right, we have to be very brutal. We have to, it's either our way or no way. So this is one of the reasons why recently we had characters such as Maxwell Chongo offering his apology to the nation, saying, "Mwema Zambians nadiruba, shaishibofo naresta. I was influenced by something." No, you weren't really influenced by something. You were just trying to survive, and you knew that in order for you to have like a lot of support, a lot of backing from the Patriotic Front, you had to, demean other opposition political parties and all that stuff. And at this particular moment, right, everybody knows at this particular moment that I am a UPND sympathizer. But just because I sympathize with the UPND, it doesn't really mean that I'm going to allow lawlessness to happen. And let's say, for example, we have violent behavior exhibited towards the opposition. I'm going to be the first person to come and say, look, what the UPND is doing right now is absolutely unacceptable, and we need to stand for the rule of law. Because I know for a fact that whenever you encourage lawlessness, right, it's just going to be a matter of time till the same attitude gets exhibited towards you. So at this particular moment, right, we have a situation where Honorable Bowman Lusambo was arrested, but due to the fact that President Hichilema has created this environment where he said, look, if somebody is arrested and they have a bailable court case, then they can receive bail and they can be on bond and they can get out of prison. But what was happening during the PF era, right? When you are arrested, especially if you are part of the opposition, just say goodbye to your cases. You could spend 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 years in prison just awaiting to be heard, if you know what I mean. But due to the fact that President Hichilema knows the importance of the rule of law and having laws that really protect society, everybody gets to benefit. So right now, right, Honorable Bowman Lusambo is comfortably sitting at his home. He's looking at his twins and he's enjoying his life because he bailed, or rather he paid a fine, and he was able to attend a bailable type of condition, which allowed him to spend the rest of his evening and tonight with his family. Now, isn't that progressive? So let's flip it over and turn the tables around. If this was happening in PF, right? If one of the UPND members was arrested, of course, nothing would have happened. So the reason why we are talking about the rule of law and why we should have order is due to the fact that next time you are going to be affected, right? Yeah, you. Yes, you. Right now you're watching this, right? If you are going to be affected, the same good policies and laws are going to work in your favor. They are going to be working in your favor. So this is one of the reasons why, even though we talk about corruption this, corruption that, right, a lot of you just say, oh, okay, this guy is probably disgruntled, this guy is probably pissed off, he's angered. But the reason why we should minimize, I understand we can't really entirely eliminate corruption, but we can minimize it. The reason why I always talk about corruption this, corruption that, is I understand that in the next 40, 30 years from now, I'm probably going to be retiring, right? I'm probably going to be relying on NAPSA pension funds. I'm probably going to be relying on the government. But if we have situations where, for example, NAPSA is using the funds that are being contributed, and by the way, this is allegedly, this is reportedly, okay, because we saw the Auditor General's reports. If we have situations where the money which is being contributed by the workers, the taxpayers, is going to pension funds, right? And if that money is being misappropriated, when that particular time comes when you have to retire, right? And when you don't really have enough energy, when you are old and you are vulnerable, right? There isn't going to be any pension. Okay, so the reason why we should be vocal about these things is there's going to be a time when we are going to be affected. So if we continue being silent and if we continue, lawlessness continue, there's going to be a time when we are going to regret. It's the same thing with government officials. There could be diplomats, there could be ambassadors, there could be people who are currently enjoying the perks of taking advantage of certain things, but there's going to be a point in their lives where when they're going to need to use the Zambian hospitals, and these Zambian hospitals are not going to have medical supplies. There's not going to be, good workmanship. There's not going to be professionalism. Okay, so we should always be empathetic to others. And just like I keep on saying, right, there's a lot of vulnerable citizens, there's a lot of people who could really use services that can be provided if Zambian corruption was sort of, brought to a minimal standpoint, if you know what I mean. So this is one of the reasons why we have to be very, very careful. So I'm very happy that, Honorable Bowman Lusambo has actually benefited from one of the, supervisions and policies that President Hichilema has put in place. If it wasn't for President Hichilema strictly saying that if somebody has got a bailable offense, give them bail and let them pay a fine and let them go until they are heard in the courts of law, right? Honorable Bowman Lusambo is one of the beneficiaries, so this is one of the reasons why we should make sure that we always do things that are right, and we always do things that are supposed to be done as far as being a progressive society, because there's going to be a time when you are going to be affected and you're going to be like on the wrong side of things and you're going to be needing things to be done properly. It's always like when you're seeing it from I don't know, from like a binoculars point of view, right? You always think in a dead finished ticket, it can only happen to those other people. So why should I be bothered? Why should I be vocal? But there's going to be a time when you're going to want somebody like me to speak up on your behalf. So yeah, anyway, moving on. Before I get carried away, let's also talk about something important, because KBF has got a message for he's got a message for the Patriotic Front, right? Because just like I told you, the Patriotic Front is obviously going to end up dying in the next 3 years. So what's happening with the Patriotic Front at this particular moment is kuri somebody amfo, because kuriko akandalama, kuri ama assets, kuri myotoka, kuri nshi. So people still understand that we can still scavenge and get whatever is remaining. But what's going to happen is there's going to be a slow death, because eventually Amakadas are not really going to be getting as much money for singing those songs. Impia Shovare for that Impia, all those perks, all those advantages to chepa, and the popularity is just going to be decreasing and decreasing and decreasing until it reaches that tipping point where people are not even going to fathom being part of the Patriotic Front, you know. So at this particular moment, we have to understand that the Patriotic Front as an organization owes a lot of people money. So this is one of the reasons why KBF had to say what he said. So without further ado, let's listen to KBF at this particular moment. So let me just share my screen. Just hold on a little bit more because I'm doing this manually. So that one, and then boom.
Any organization that's worth its salt must pay its debts. Takulia to the political party. Na now kwa tenko ngore kalipire. Mama pantu vena fionse vyali vya kufisa. Vena fionse vyali vya bonaushi. Ilienko ngole ngata bakalipire. I'll bankrupt that company, that association. They won't exist. So what I'm talking for Europe, Davis Mwila was saved the letter. He knows what I'm talking about. The party chairman, they owe people millions and millions of kwacha. But we never repeat. And me, when I make a pronouncement, so ngapalinda la moko bafisa bafukulule balipile chap so ndebwekera mu kuchitenchi kupira ndeyipusha ndeyafika feche mwanje pusha ba PF future tapali na imwe mweweka ile mu PF mwana muikala na musunsumana kwati palepo musunsumeni fumeni mo tamuli future mo future aba kwete future ya chalo ni fwe kweba kwete amano na vision nati mweba no kumweba join in Zambia must prosper ini mwalinchi bano mutima wandi mwalinchi mwana tuichika chinchi. Let's just work together. Ichocho ina tampeni kutoloka mo. Safi ne vale toloka mo Titanic, tampeni kutoloka mo icho chombo. Chombo cha nawo cha gwe mulefwa. Mubwato. Na umona chile bunda na wikalile. Lunshi wachi mpwena. Bamushika ne chitumbi. Yona wikala na yeyo PF what PF.
Otherwise, thank you very much.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, so that was KBF talking about the Patriotic Front and basically its future. So I would advise all the, you to understand, people need to have this political clout, but you have to understand that the anger and the frustration that Zambians hold towards the towards the Patriotic Front is so overwhelming that you don't really stand any survival at this particular moment. And there's going to be a tipping point where, the Patriotic Front as a political party and just the basic name of PF is going to be making people throw up. So at this particular moment, do what Maxwell Chongo is doing. And the thing about these cadres is they are so smart and so dumb at the same time. I mean, if you look at Maxwell Chongo, right, he's a very smart guy. He's already understood that the political party and there's nothing that's going to happen. And there's it's over. Capito, finito, and all that stuff. And he's beginning to sort of meander his way, and he's trying to have a situation where he gains people's sympathy. I can also give you another practical example where we had another Patriotic Front, Munir, is it Munir Zulu, right? He was the independent member of Parliament for some Eastern Province, constituency. So if you take a look at what he's been doing, right? Munir Zulu, I believe, is the young brother to Kaiza Zulu, right? So he is a very smart guy. He's already started gravitating towards the new standard of being popular in Zambia, because at this particular moment, right, it's not about Amaka, it's not about like the way it was during the Patriotic Front. Never how these thugs were addressing people. That particular era is done. This time around, right, there's a new era where people talk about issue-based type of politics. And if you take a look at people like Munir Zulu, right, he obviously had a very good presentation the other day where he was sort of questioning the legality and just offering checks and balances like in a very civilized manner. But that same particular character was the one who was fighting and throwing blows and punches with the police. So as you can see, right, the smart cadres have already started transitioning. Nomba kushere bari aba, the diehards, bari aba tabamone finish tika bachiri bari support pavu ato and all that stuff, but ato bude bunda. They don't really know how to move on. They don't really know how to read the temperature of the room, because I always keep on telling people reading the temperature of the room is a blessing. And I remember a few months ago, right, in 2000 in 2020, a lot of people were saying, hey Mona, stop being sympathetic towards the patriotic towards the UPND, because the UPND that's winning. There's always going to be rigging and that stuff, but I always stood my ground. I always knew that because I was able to read the temperature and I was able to see the feeling and where the likelihood of either PF and UPND is going to stand with regards to who's going to be victorious. And apparently I was right, because in 2020, even 2016, I was telling you the UPND's time is going to be here, and I told you that the only reason why Edgar Lungu was able to beat the UPND at that particular moment was due to sympathy votes, because the people of Zambia were so in love with Michael Sata. And at that particular time, right, the UPND structures weren't able to protect their votes at different polling stations. But what the UPND did at this particular moment, right, is they were able to safeguard polling stations. They were able to have a lot of people protecting votes and that stuff. And this is one of the reasons why we saw Gary Nkombo being very vocal and just doing what they have to do. So if the UPND were able to do this in 2016, right, the margin was very minimal. If you look at the discrepancy between the PF and the UPND in 2016, right, they only had a discrepancy of about 100,000 votes. So if the UPND was able to safeguard polling stations and just be able to go ferociously, I'm sure they could have won. But all about it. So I was able to read the temperature of the room, and I was able to be on the right side of history. So I'm very proud about that. So the point that I'm trying to drive at is being able to read the temperature of the room is a very good virtue. It's a very good character that you are supposed to possess. Okay, so without further ado, let's listen to Honorable Mao Sampa, because today's parliament was absolutely amazing, and we had a very good, back and forth between Mao Sampa and the people in parliament, because Mao Sampa is a very interesting and polarizing character. So let me just play you without further ado. So yeah, hold on, I have to do this one more time. So hold on, Mao Sampa. Let me do that.
My question goes to something that Zambians love: football. Football is a religion, Your Honor, in Zambia. In 2011, when PF formed government, within 5 months, Zambia won the Africa Cup, first ever and never been. When the new Dawn government came in a few months ago, we were all happy because within 2 weeks, Zambia won the first World Cup game in Mauritania, 2-0. And we said, wow, finally, we'll be going to the World Cup with the new deal government, new dawn in the morning. Your Honor, 2 weeks ago at Levy Stadium, the Chiporopora was there, lost to Tunisia 2-0. Last night, in Equatorial Guinea, they lost again 2-0. Your Honor, the people in Kaputa are very sad this morning, and in Karomo and in Matero. The mood, the entire country is sad. And those who hold football hostage and say, our government has nothing to do with it, it's FIFA, we are independent, we're autonomy. And yet we use the taxpayer money to take this team to play those games. What will this new government do to ensure that a miracle happens and Zambia wins all the remaining games so that there can be happiness? Because what's happened, the new Dawn football team has become sunset before lunch, and it's contagious when it comes to government. A secure position, Your Honor, the Vice President.
Order.
honor the Vice President. I do understand the importance of football in our country and how the honorable member views it. If football was an indicator of good things to come by government, as the honorable member himself referred to the fact that in 2011, the team won. The team won. And the ruling party didn't follow that pattern. The ruling party of the time, PF, in their governance, he wants to do politics. Honorable Speaker, I think he was just doing politics. He has said really nothing in this question to address the issues that really are of concern to the Zambian people. Madam, there is no time that football has been used as an indicator of issues of human rights, an indicator of economic development, an indicator of anything other than soccer itself. And madam, the honorable member may also just need to know that the team that is playing is a team that has been there with them. Is he proposing? Is the member proposing that we should also change the team? Because in our understanding, this is football, and let the young people continue to practice a little harder, not the way they did in the previous government. This time, these are the politics that the honorable wants. They will work hard, and they'll probably do better. But on a serious note, they are not an indicator of good or bad governance. We intend to give good governance to this land to go up, not to go down. Thank you.
Oh wow, that was amazing. That was a very interesting light moment with regards to the question that Honorable Lusambo was able to give during that during that session. And it's a very humorous type of situation, and it's funny due to the fact that he was very serious. And don't get me wrong, I really regard Honorable Lusambo like in the highest regard, and I really believe like he was one of those few good guys. But I understand a lot of you are going to crucify me saying, yo, but Lusambo, I understand, but I'm just saying, look, a lot of Zambians really love and adore Honorable Lusambo and his family, and he's also been able to like utilize social media to his advantage. But that particular question, I'm sorry about Honorable Lusambo, but that question was absolutely, it was like very, yeah, yeah. You weren't supposed to do that, because at this particular moment, right? Of course, we know Zambians love football. We know Zambians are diehard fans with regards to football, and we want to see our boys do very well. But at this particular moment, the things that we are concerned about are governance issues, economic recovery, job opportunities, employment, entrepreneurship. Like those are issues that Zambians are dying to hear about. But of course, I understand, he's a very jovial person. And of course, he was coming from a very good place. And, but I really believe that at this particular moment, I want to hear our members of parliament talk about progressive stuff, stuff that have to do with governance, policies, opportunities with regards to job creation and all those good things, trivial things such as football. Of course, football can really bring in a lot of revenue. It can really bring in a lot of money. But just like the vice president said, it's not really an economic indicator of progress, if you know what I mean. So that was a very funny situation. So with regards to Amalite, a lot of people are talking about Zesco. Zesco, Amalite, Takudi, we're experiencing a lot of load shedding. Not so long ago, Imaba Z Corner and my family, we were telling you, Zesco is actually going to play a huge role, or rather, it does play a huge role in terms of providing sentiments. You see, when it comes to citizens, right? And emotions and your lines of thoughts, you could easily be programmed. You see, I do a lot of marketing, I do a lot of business development, and there are certain tactics that can be used to make you think and start feeling in a type of way. So if you take a look at Zesco, to a lot of you who are very thorough with regards to your research, right? And I know I might really get in trouble for talking about this, but hey, in 2016, 2020, I was talking about UPND when everybody was shying away from that. So this is actually my territory. So if you take a look at the role that Zesco plays, number one, you have to understand that Zesco is owing some people, some named people from the Far East, a lot of money. Okay, and then you have to also understand that these named people from the Far East, they were supporting a certain political party. So if you can add one and two, right? Zesco plays a key role with regards to propelling the economy, because in order for the economy to do very well, right, citizens have to be productive. How are you going to be productive when you are lacking electricity? How is the small scale entrepreneur, such as a barberman, a saloon, everything uses electricity at this particular moment? But if we are having situations where we are having exorbitant frequent power cuts, how are we going to do very well as an economy? And just like I earlier told you, right, Zesco is owned by named people from the Far East, because we own a lot of money. The other day, it was actually in the news diggers post, we saw how much money Zesco is owing to our friends from the Far East. So what's actually happening at this particular moment is political and economic sabotage. You see, the games that our friends from the Far East play, right, they don't really play ama games ayava simple. They play smart games whereby they get to checkmate you before you even know that you are playing a game of chess. They are very tactical. They are very tactical. They are very smooth with it. You can't even know, like, it doesn't really matter whether we've got UPND or PF. These people are very, very smart. They understand how to grab you by the balls. Excuse my language, but that's the best expression that I can use. They know how to have you bend to their will. So the reason why we are having rampant electricity shortages in this particular moment is, should I go deep? Should I go deep? Say go deeper, papa. I'm just kidding. So anyway, to the people watching me right now, are you having electricity, Kwano? And how's the load shedding thing going on, Kwano? So in case you're having electricity problems, please do your research. I gave you a precursor. I gave you Kajonko as to why, obviously, in the next coming 4 to about 6 months, we're going to see crazy manipulation as far as electricity distribution is concerned. This is because they're trying to get leverage, okay? And due to the fact that we've seen the stance of the UPND government with regards to our friends from the Far East, right? We know that they are gravitating towards the Americans and all that stuff. So we know where they are tilting. So at this particular moment, right, our friends from the Far East, they're trying to get leverage, okay? And since we owe them a lot of money, right? So what they're basically going to do is they're going to show you how important they are. How are they going to show you how important they are? By just taking electricity away from that and making the citizens disgruntled. Because what's going to happen is if electricity is going to continue being disrupted like that, right? Amazamians wala for Amazamians bakaran that yeah, namwa lungu, namuli ba PF mwade wa mako because let's say didn't tell for ya if away. Did we make the right decision of voting for these people? Look at our businesses. Nenko kota today because fiance fide onaika because I'm a light. So that is how you gain authority over or rather in a situation where when you are not being given chances. So this is one of the reasons why owning something is very important. Controlling your assets is very important. I always keep on telling you, look, at this particular moment, right? As much as we understand that foreign investors are very crucial and they really help us at this particular moment as Zambians, we need to start doing things by ourselves. Okay? We can crowdfund, we can raise money, we can control our assets. The reasons why we need to control our assets is due to the fact that we're going to be able to avoid such things. The other day, right, I told you about the ZDA type of contract, which is going to be awarded to like a named South African company, which is going to be allegedly, processing and refining our gold that we discovered in Zambia. And if you look at the ownership, right, Zambians are only being given 10% ownership, while South Africans, aka foreigners, are being given 90%. But if you do forensic research, because you should always dive deeper, So in the comment section, say dive deeper, Papa. So in your life, right, you should always do forensic research. So if you do your research, if you do your Googles, if you look at the ZDA contract that was given, right, 10%, 90%, right, allegedly to South Africans. So if you look at those particular ownership rights, tumasangana okusangati amazambians ebadeshita pretend kwati ma South Africans ebade kwata mona Dutch side. So this is one of the reasons why, even though it's going to take us a long time to get it right, because the only thing that we are scared of with regards to like controlling our assets is we're afraid of failing. We're like, okay, ngatuamba gold mine, limbit wala firwa, limbit won't be profitable, limbit won't be that, maybe it won't make money, maybe it won't do this. That's the only reason why we are not able to control our assets, but we just need to take a leap of faith. We need to utilize the manpower that we have. We need to utilize our graduates. Paunza, pasibiyu, kuma noteki, kuma shingana nani huko. We have a lot of Zambians who are capable. All that they are asking for you to do is give them a chance. Okay. If you're always afraid, you're never ever going to do anything. Take a look at my broadcast at this particular moment, right? You are able to see me. And I'm reaching and having the same numbers as ZNBC, Spring TV, Movie TV. I'm able to like get the same numbers digitally because I tried. Because I'm actually figuring out stuff like how do I put the lights? How do I connect the mic? How do I get better distribution? So the thing is, we should always try. We shouldn't be afraid of failure. And at this particular time, right, we ushered in the new Dawn government. And we've got amazing progressive ministries such as the Ministry of Technology and Science, small scale, whatever, entrepreneurship, you already know the business. So what we need to do is we need to allow the government to give able Zambians, and there has to be like a screening process. Not Philadelphia will put patriotic frontier, send the youth empowerment if you will, not Philadelphia will put. We need to give people who are credible. We need to give people who've actually done stuff. If you look at the labor power and the manpower in the diaspora, even in Zambia, because at this particular moment we need to join, just like Voltron. For those of you who used to watch that cartoon, like Voltron, like Power Rangers, like all the different people with different skills and services, we combine together and we form this gigantic force of progressiveness. This is what we need. We need to get the very best Zambians in all provinces. We go to the university. Which citizens here, which students are the best? Which citizens on the Copper Belt are doing and conducting what type of businesses? We get those people who are already doing something, not experimenting on would-be entrepreneurs. We need to invest in people who are actually doing something so that we just propel and get them to expand. Tuwapampa mo capital, tuwapampa mo empia, we keep on progressing like that. So when it comes to like I'm a projects, like trying to set up an electricity company, we just hire people who are capable, people who've got the accolades and people who've got the qualifications, because I really believe Nkanda Yesu is blessed. We are people of melanin. We are so blessed. We are able to survive and use the sun to just be energetic and be able to survive and thrive. But at this particular moment, right, we don't really believe in ourselves because we've got people who are selfish, because it's all about policies and it's all about rules and it's all about these sort of subtle implementations that really bring about a chain of reaction. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why I really believe that we need to give ourselves chances to either fail or progress, but we can minimize the chances of failure. And I always keep on telling people, like, look, listen, life is all about probabilities. We can give ourselves, or rather elevate ourselves to positions where we are able to have the highest odds of succeeding and progressing. Okay, let's say, for example, we want to solve the electricity problem. Zambia is endowed with a lot of electricity, and at this particular moment, right, Zambia uses around 3,500 megawatts of electricity to around 5,000 megawatts of electricity maximum. Like, that's the amount of money, that's the amount of electricity power that we need. We need around 3,500 to about 5,000 megawatts of electricity. But at the moment, right, we are underproducing. We're probably producing less than 2,500. All right. But how is that even possible when, number one, Zambia has got a lot of electricity? We can use hydroelectricity. We can utilize our landscape, our territory. We can use our geography to our best of capabilities. We can even set up different electricity supply companies in all the 10 provinces so that we can minimize the load on Zesco. And I understand a lot of you are going to say, hey, Mona, we've got the Sino Hydro Power Electric Power Station, which was created. There's another electricity station. So please, in the comment section below, remind me about that particular hydroelectric power station, which is being, built and created. But I want to remind you that today Pangechochi Hydroelectric Power Station Nenkongore Shakufa East. I'm not going to talk about our beloved friends because story is Vika. As you can see, right? All the strategic assets that we need to develop are being facilitated by our friends from the Far East. They've got Zesco. They've also got another allegedly new upcoming hydroelectric power, plant. We borrowed money from them in order for us to create this electricity solution. So now guess what's going to happen? If we are able to also utilize that new upcoming electricity supply company, which is being facilitated by the loans that they gave us. Excuse me. So what's going to happen? So what is going to happen? So somebody's saying drink some water. Yeah, funny. Yeah, I'm probably going to drink some water a little bit later. So yeah, so what was I saying? Now I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I was saying, in order for us to have this electricity problem, right, we need to be able to crowdsource our own money, raise that money, and create these electricity supply companies, which we are going to be able to control ourselves. Because if we're not able to control them, right, we're never ever going to have the solution to the electricity problem, because we're owing people money and they're going to be using that particular asset to siphon resources out of Zambia, and they're just going to be basically keeping us running in a circle. So this is one of the reasons why ownership is very important. So if you also look at KK International Airport, it's also facilitated by loans. Loans, they'll take over that asset. So what are we going to be owning? And taking advantage, or rather taking charge of as a nation. Let's say, if you want to say, if you have an important for economic progress is going to be either created due to the fact that we got loans, or due to the fact that we're relying on other people's efforts. So this is one of the reasons why we need to always make sure that we are controlling our assets. We empower our citizens to do what they have to do, because we've got Zambians who are capable. There's a lot of brilliant Zambians out there who can actually get to implement a lot of these things. So all that we need to do is take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith. If we make mistakes, we're going to fall forward, if you know what I mean. When we make mistakes, we're going to learn and do better. So let's give Zambian citizens the ability to improve their own economy. So yeah, big shout out to everybody watching me right now. This has been a very long rant, and I'm probably dehydrated, but anyway, it is what it is. So long na for today, and so long story na ishibika. So I have been your presenter, Muna. And I really want to thank you for supporting us here on Z Corner. Of course, we're not the best. I'm not a seasoned presenter. This is the this is the thing about people. You guys expect to be perfect in order for you to try something out. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a professional marketer or a business developer or anything. To some be very fine like bootleg. Twice, okay. It succeeds just like that, because personally, I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid of criticism. I'm not afraid. I'm not really bothered by such type of comments where people say, you wish, you go, because I know I'm a work in progress. This is what we need to do as a society and as Zambians. We need to be relentless. We need to be able not to fear the fear of failure. This is one of the reasons why a lot of West Africans do very well. If my West Africans, confidence here, because they're not afraid to fail. All that we need to do is we need to study and increase the odds of succeeding and shorten the learning curve. That's all we need to do. So, it actually, for the better, unless there's going to be to my contribution. So let's take a look at this. So Nicholas Mutalama says Huawei is deep in Zambia, and the country is now going to be turned into an ideological battle between the two forces, West versus East. Watch the space. So to all my vigilant Z Corner fans out there, because I always tell my people, I'm a Z Corner fans, the people that we have on Z Corner. These are like the highest IQ type of Zambians, because the type of material that we distribute, right? It doesn't really attract, the scalawags or just people who don't really think in a certain way. So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying, look, we're supposed to create this family of people who are vigilant. You have to go there and look at things, not just looking at things from the face value. You have to go in deep. Like, why is Zesco giving us electricity shortages at this particular moment? Why are we having situations where our economy and political atmosphere is being sort of challenged and threatened? Why is this happening? How much megawatts does Zambia need in order for us to solve these problems? Those are the type of followers and supporters that I need to have on Z Corner. So you guys have been so awesome. I want to give you a round of applause, and hopefully we're going to be able to do this on a daily basis. But sometimes katamanga, turacha katamanga, because by the end of it all, we've got other hassles as well. As much as I want to be here with you like on a daily basis, sometimes but mama evening we've secluded okay, 1 hour I'm going to be talking to my people. I'm going to add some value or provide some entertainment and all that stuff. But otherwise, we'll be trying our best to make sure that we've got this ongoing dialogue so that we always stay up to date, because by the end of it all, if we have enlightened citizens Mozambia, right, everybody is going to do very well. Because if you're once abantu nga bali salapuka bonse nga bali bafeel like on their toes, if you're poor of yakarashtika nkola bafati ama Zambians what's happening so this is one of the reasons why we need to make sure that everybody is vigilant, everybody is on their toes, even in your own neighborhoods. Make sure you always keep your MPs accountable. By MP panga drainage. Oh, by the way, let me also talk about this, right? Let's say, for example, at this particular moment, right, we are in October. Nobody in November, December. Like rain season is coming. What we should be doing right now as youths is making sure that our drainages are cleared. Because every blessed year, kula bama floods, especially mwe barusaka imwe. Barusaka munampesha amano ine barusaka imwe. Every year murusaka, you can even bet it. You can even you don't even need to be a rocket scientist. This year there's also going to be floods in Lusaka. But why don't we prepare for rainy seasons? Why don't we make sure that our drainages are unblocked? I understand Lusaka is actually on a rock. We understand. This is one of the reasons why we were very vocal when it comes to Forest 27. To end up Forest 27 last year, 2019, I remember TK Piri, we actually blasted his message out and we were talking about the importance of Forest 27. But every year, Mulusaka Mulavama floods Mulusaka. But why don't we do anything? Why don't we create proper drainages when we still have time? We've got from April to, I don't know, September or October to prepare for Amains. So that I mean, Shinga, they've got like a very good passage, and we don't need to have drainages. Of course, I'm hydrated, so I'm dehydrated. So please forgive me if I'm like swallowing. I'm a nana and it's so nasty and all that stuff. But anyway. This is the advantages of being raw. This is live TV where if you actually edit. So this is one of the reasons why we need to have our own solutions. At this particular moment, everybody should have been busy. Busy creating our drainages. Now, this is Munali. Munali MP, get some youths. You mobilize yourselves. Prepare the drainages, for crying out loud. Just do it in your area. If every constituency, every area in Lusaka does this, whereby they facilitate and make drainages, nobody's going to be losing properties of, goods and all that stuff. Number 40, this year, 2021, again, Mukalala and the disaster management unit, Boma Yanganepo, floods. But why? We already know that there's always rainy season and Lusaka has got messed up drainages. But why don't we do anything? We always have like a lot of time. We always keep on complaining. Are we waiting for donors to come and provide us with the money to create our drainages? So why do we do these things? So I'm MPs. MPs, now is the time to be very vocal about drainages and coming up with solutions. And you don't even need a lot of money to create drainages. You just need if you pack up, you just need if you pond, but violent, but you can even utilize prisoners, of course, not really infringing their rights. But you don't need money to do those things. You just need initiative. Amount of it, you do the thing. We can even harvest that water, to create electricity. So all these things are a cycle of revolving doors. We need to be using our initiative and we need to be using our manpower, because Zambia is blessed with young people. So please, all the problems that we go through in Zambia, we don't need umuntu na nenkandea kashiko musungu aponena from Europe asa mipera 30 million atipange na drainages. Yeah, I might really get passionate about this. But anyway, I hope I wasn't really dramatic, because this is infotainment, so we try to entertain you and we also try to inform you as well. But just like I told you, a presenter, a journalist, because a lot of you think I'm a journalist. I'm not a journalist. I've just got a passion about these things. So when I'm raw like this and I'm giving it to you like it is, I'm not a seasoned qualified to Philandala. So that's all I had for you today. You have a blessed weekend. do we have any more interesting questions here? CD Rodwell, Siala Zoko, did you? Okay. What else do we have? Felista says, for real, Chair power cut is becoming worse as the day goes by because we've got business people who need power 24/7. Hi Mona, you're doing a good job, voice for the nation. Keep putting pressure, son. Okay, tukalavika with my pressure as we can. But imagine foot people and more problems. I need you people to come and bail me out. Because by the end of it all, we know how these things work. Because we've studied from history. Problem. It's just going to be me, probably my family as well. But we've got allocations, we've got funds for those particular instances where we're going to be, plucking some influential people's favors. We've planned this out. We've got our lawyers as well in case we're in a messed up situation. So, don't think I'm just here aimlessly. Just don't think I'm just I've got a strong team. So just like they say, so just because I've got this guy youthful demeanor, it doesn't mean I don't. I've got a strong team, a ferocious team. So yeah. Anyway. So Tico says, how can I contact you, Muna? So the only way that you can contact me is by sending emails to me. That's Muna at zcorner.com. So can I rename this? Yeah, let me just change my tag. So that's the way that you can get to contact me, Muna at zcorner.com. That's my email. So yeah, check my tag. You can send me an email. That's my contact email address right there. So yeah, big shout out to everybody watching me today. We had a very good presentation. We had close to about 600 viewers, but of course now we paso apa once mrefo kulala once mrefo kumfa bueno na my spouses very much go forth and multiply, like Bible said. The Bible said go forth and multiply. So yeah, because we need numbers to go up in Zambia. We need by the end of UPND rule, we need to double our population. We need to have at least 50 million people. So you've got a lot of work to do. So anyway, to understand. So have a great night. Hopefully you got the sense out of all the nonsense that I said, and you guys have been so awesome. I really thank you. Remember, share this video right now. Share it on your timeline, post it in 5 different Zambian groups, because we need to let the people know that this is what we want. And with your help, we can be a very good voice for Zambian citizens. So if you've got like a business plan or anything that you would love to tell the people of Zambia, please let me know. Send me an email at muna@zcorner.com. And we are going to be able to be your platform so that you can be able to disseminate information to the Zambian public. So I am really asking for your support, not from a money standpoint of view. Should I push MP because I hustle on by myself? I've got my own businesses. I'm good like that. All I'm asking for you is to support me by liking my videos, sharing my videos, especially in all the groups. So if you are a Z Corner fan, right, please be part of the Z Corner family, where we promote, research and being a vigilant citizen. Panopa Z Corner, we want you to be a vigilant citizen, whereby you are able to stand up and speak for the vulnerable and be able to be the difference. That's what I'm trying to create. So not kulatina, because a lot of you so if you just know that if you are on the right side of the law, stand your ground, make sure you do what is needed in order for us to propel Zambia to the next level. And not if you have where Impia is there for everybody to make, provided you use your own initiative. Everybody is going to be blessed with amazing opportunities. Not kuraivira abantu Impia ngamurevira ichalo Impia ninshia depriving abalanda ama widows abana banshiwa iwenga wanga uri mwana wanshiwa, right? You want people to look out for you. If you are a widow, you want people to look out for you. So be empathetic, exhibit sympathy towards others, provided you use your initiative. There's plenty and tons of opportunities out there for you to thrive. So that's what we are all about here on Z Corner. So be part of our family, be part of our exclusive group. And the best thing that you can ever do to support us is give us the likes, drop us some comments, share this video, and offer your support because you believe and stand for the same principles and ideologies. So that's all I had for you. It's been your boy Muna, aka the Zambian, the leading voice for the Zambian youths. Now I'm a Zambian senior citizens, because a lot of you feel like you're left out. I'm once about Zambia, so long you've got a green passport and you're born in Zambia, I'm your guy. So support your boy and share this video. So thank you very much. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, and have a great night. Bye.